Welcome, dear listeners. Tonight, we enter the cursed swamps of Lerna, a land of mist, a land of poison ... a land where even the gods hold their breath. This is the second labor of Heracles. Heracles, son of Zeus ... a hero marked by strength, a man scarred by tragedy, cursed by Hera's hatred, bound to tasks by King Eurystheus, a penance written in blood ... The Hydra waits in Lerna, 9 heads, 1 immortal, all venomous. This is not only a battle for life, it is a battle for redemption. Heracles left tyrants before sunrise. The road stretched long and empty. Zhi clung to the grass ... Dust clung to his sandals. Memories clung to his heart. He walked with heavy steps. Villagers whispered as he passed, "That is the cursed one, the killer of children ... The pawn of Eurystheus." Heracles heard their words, but he did not answer. At a crossroads, an old man appeared, wrinkled face, eyes full of sorrow. He raised a trembling hand and warned, "Turn back, son of Zeus. The Hydra breathes poison ... Its blood burns like fire. Now blackens light." Heracles bowed his head. "I do not seek glory. I seek redemption." He shed his water and moved on. The swamp reeked of death ... Water thick with slime drop ... Mist cold like ghosts. Frogs were still. Even the air seemed heavy with warning. Heracles tightened his grip on the club. His bow slung across his back. Each step sank deeper into mud ... The water bubbled in the distance. A dark ripple approached. 9 heads rose from the darkest water ... Eyes burning like coal ... Fangs dripping venom. 9 voices hissed together. "Fool," one snarled. "You will drown ... Another whispered ... Heracles planted his feet. He would not retreat. He tightened his jaw. "This ends tonight ... he said. The battle was about to begin. The swamp stank of rot and poison. Heracles stepped into the fog. Eyes glowed in the darkness. The Hydra hissed, low and menacing. Its many heads writhed like serpents, each fang dripping venom. The hero raised his mighty club. He swung with thunderous force. 1 head crashed to the ground. Hissing echoed like thunder. 2 new heads burst from the bloody start, teeth snapping and gnashing, venom steaming in the air. Heracles shielded his eyes with his arm. The earth trembled beneath their clash. The Hydra's tails whipped like chains. Heracles rolled aside just in time. He struck again with fury and rage. Another head fell into the swampy mud. Another to replace it instantly. The monster laughed with many voices. Heracles gritted his teeth. Sweat burned in his eyes. The Hydra pressed forward. Each head struck like lightning. He swung left, then right, again and again. The swamp echoed with thunderous blows. But still the monster grew stronger. Venom splashed across sharp stones. Smoke rose where the drops landed. The air filled with choking green fumes. Heracles coughed and staggered back. His chest burned like fire. His vision blurred through the haze. Yet he did not stop fighting. He roared with rage, struck again and again with his club. Heads rolled into the swamp water. The Hydra hissed and writhed in fury. But for every wound he inflicted, the beast only multiplied stronger. Its body twisted with endless heads. Heracles stumbled back in exhaustion. His heart pounded like war drums. The monster circled slowly around him, heads weaving like a storm of snakes. The swamp echoed with their hisses. He realized raw strength would never be enough. Wisdom must join power, or he would fall. Heracles gasped for breath. The Hydra's heads hissed all around him. Venom burned on the swamp floor. His arms shook with exhaustion. For each head he struck down, 2 more rose, stronger and faster. His heart whispered, "I cannot win alone." From the reeds a voice called out, "I am here, Heracles." It was Heracles, his faithful nephew, young but brave, with fire in his eyes. He carried a burning torch. Smoke curled from its tip. Hope flickered in the darkness. Heracles smiled through blood and sweat. "Quickly, Heracles, help me." Another Hydra had lunged forward. Heracles crushed her with his club. The stump writhed, birthing 2 new heads. Heracles leapt forward without fear. He thrust the torch onto the wound. The flesh sizzled and smoked. 9 new heads grew. The Hydra shrieked in agony. Its many voices screamed at once. Heracles roared in triumph. Heracles struck again with fire. Together, they found the way to victory. One by one, they fought as a team. Heracles crushed with his club. Hylas sealed each wound with fire. The swamp burned with smoke and sparks. The Hydra thrashed wildly, but its power weakened at last. The tide of battle began to turn. The Hydra roared in rage. Its many heads raved like a storm. The swamp shook beneath its coils. Water splashed high into the air. Heracles planted his feet firmly. Hylas held the torch steady. The battle was far from over. One head lunged like a striking snake. Heracles smashed it with his club. The stump hissed and writhed. Hylas burned quickly with fire. Smoke and sparks filled the swamp. The Hydra screamed in agony. The sun shook the night sky. Another head struck from behind. Heracles barely turned in time. He grazed his shoulder. Poison burned his skin. He roared in pain, but did not falter. Hylas swung the torch again. The beast shrank from the flame. The Hydra's tails lashed like whips. Trees cracked and fell around them. Heracles dodged the heavy blows. Hylas stumbled, but rose again. Together they pressed forward. One head fell, then another. The torch sealed every wound. At last the Hydra slowed. Its many heads hissed weakly. The swamp trembled less. Heracles' chest heaved with breath. Hylas' torch flickered but still burned. They had turned the tide of war. Victory was near. The Hydra hissed in fury. Its heads whipped wildly in every direction. The swamp churned with chaos. But Heracles no longer feared. He had found the key to victory. Beside him, Hylas gripped the torch. Together they prepared for the end. Heracles swung his mighty club. One head fell into the mud. Hylas leapt forward with fire. The wound sizzled, sealing shut. The Hydra screamed in agony. Its strength drained away. The hero pressed on harder. The Hydra tried to strike again. Its head snapped like thunderbolts. Heracles ducked and rolled aside. His muscles strained with power. He swung upward with fury. Another head was crushed. Hylas sealed the wound once more. The swamp grew silent for a moment. Only a few heads remained. Heracles roared like a storm. He swung with unstoppable might. The last head tumbled down. Hylas pressed the torch firmly. No more could rise again. The Hydra writhed one final time. Its body collapsed into the swamp. Water splashed high into the night. Heracles stood over the fallen beast. His chest heaved with heavy breath. Hylas lowered the torch at last. The battle was won. The swamp lay in silence. The Hydra's body sank beneath the water. Bubbles rose, then faded. The air still stank of poison. Heracles leaned on his club. His chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. Hylas wiped sweat from his brow. Heracles gazed at the fallen monster. This beast had been unstoppable, yet together they had prevailed. Hylas smiled faintly with pride. Heracles placed a heavy hand on his shoulder. "You saved me, nephew," he said. "Without you, I would have perished." He cut into the Hydra's body. Big black blood oozed like fire. The stench was unbearable. Heracles dipped his arrows into the blood. They smoked and hissed with venom. He knew this poison was deadly, a weapon for battles yet to come. The villagers would hear of this victory. Songs would be sung across the land. But Heracles felt no pride. His soul still carried grief and guilt. This was not glory. This was punishment. Redemption lay far ahead. Heracles returned to tyrants. The Hydra's tail spread before him. Crowds whispered in awe and fear. Some bowed their heads in respect. Others trembled at his cursed strength. Heracles walked in silence. Hylas followed faithfully at his side. Before King Eurystheus he stood. The king recoiled in dread. Even from a distance he feared the hero. Eurystheus declared, "This labor does not count. You did not fight alone. You used another's hand." Heracles clenched his fists in anger. Heracles left the palace in silence. Another trial awaited him. The burden of redemption was heavy, but he would not stop. One labor ended. 11 more still remained. The journey of Heracles had only begun. And that ends today's tale of Heracles. But his labors are far from finished. More battles, more myths, more legends await. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to follow the journey. Until next time, may the strength of Heracles inspire you.